Okay. In a few minutes, we are about to begin for getting started as a rock star podcast virtual assistant. Woo! Okay. So our sharer speaker for that is Miss Eloisa Constantino. And joining me at the back is Brielle. Okay, so if you'd like to get certified in Adobe or Autodesk, we are inviting you to join our community, which is MechaniWeb. And if you're into digital creativity, okay, inviting you to join us in Digital Creatives Philippines. And if you're an Autodesk user, inviting you to join us in Autodesk Community Philippines. And if you're into AEC, Building Information Modeling, inviting you to join us in BIM Philippines. In addition, we are also multi-streaming in Facebook and YouTube. You'll be seeing us there as well. So if you prefer uh, YouTube, then we are also there, and the same as YouTube. So if you recall last time, our special guest was Miss Sheena Yap, wherein she talked about the benefits of podcasting. This time, uh, we will be given an additional information to bolster that knowledge. This time it's how to get started as a podcast virtual assistant. And joining me this evening is Tito J or Sir JP Titik. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sir Jomark. Great evening to our viewers.
Okay, for those who are not familiar with Sir JP, Sir JP is...
Well, I'm a simple YouTuber, and my advocacy is to help people lose weight or pumayat. Yeah, and that's what
Okay.
our channel is about, Ketogenic TV.
Okay, so
So,
yep.
and you can check out my channel. Pagkatapos mo na livecast na to, it's Ketogenic TV. Yan.
All right. So, have you started your podcast channel, Sir JP, or not yet?
Not yet, but I am practicing. After our live stream with Ma'am Sheena Yapchan, I've converted, not really converted, but sinusubukan kong gawin yung mga vlogs ko into madaling convert into a podcast.
Nice, nice.
So after hearing Ma'am Sheena Yap Chan's lecture, what I did was I tried to play my vlogs na walang video. Talagang puro audio lang. So titingnan ko doon. From there, pwede kaya tong podcast material. I don't know. Hindi ko pala sa start pero parang yun lang yung pinaka ginagawa ko. Kaya interesting yung topic natin. Getting started sa podcast.
Hell yeah. And tonight, matututo na naman po tayo, no? So again, one of the mission of this live stream or LinkedIn Local Meet, Local Philippines, is to feature our top LinkedIn influencers in the Philippines to the world. And one of our mission as well is to help out our kababayans by having a new skill and knowledge to succeed, especially in this challenging times. And I think it's already proven, no, na there's money, kaching behind podcasting, and hindi pa rin siya outdated or luma. I think it's still di ba?
Very young, just starting
very
here
young
in the Philippines.
So madalas we are hearing YouTubers but in the Philippines rarely, no, na ako wala ako masyadong kilalang Filipino podcaster eh. Parang si Messina lang eh. 'Di ba? Ayan, so yep, and finally joining us this evening, the one and only Miss Eloisa Constantino. Woo!
Hi! Hi, good evening. I thank you naman.
Virtual clap lang, baka masyadong malakas.
Thank you so much for spending your night, Saturday night with us, with the three of us. Ayun.
Ayan, first question na po agad. Taga saan daw po kayo?
Me, taga Laguna. I am from, right now, we are residing here in San Pedro, Laguna.
Oh,
Tayo, South
OMG.
lahat tayo.
South people.
South? Okay. I know si Sir JP is from Las Piñas because I am following his stuff. So I know that he's a South din.
Where in San Pedro? What barangay?
San Vicente. We are in the Pasita area. Pasita 1 kami.
Oo. There's something with no? There's something with SLEX. Bakit parang ang traffic kahapon, try namin umuwi mula Santa Rosa hanggang Las Piñas. Bumalik kami, Sir JP. Bumalik kami dahil kitang-kita sa sa SLEX eh ang haba ng ang haba ng traffic. Umuwi ulit kami ng Santa Rosa, hindi kami umuwi kaya ngayon lang ako dumating ng Las Piñas din.
Ako I'm assuming pag magde-December kasi yung Santa Rosa area, yung part na yan ng Laguna talagang sobrang crowded. Even now in the times of pandemic, parang parang hindi pa rin mapipigilan yung mga tao na lumabas, umuwi or mag-travel eh. So kasi na-develop yung Santa Rosa.
Oo. Ma'am Eloisa, malapit ka lang. Are you near Susana Heights exit or ibang exit dapat?
Southwoods. Southwood is the nearest exit here. From here, Southwoods na. Or the other one is San Pedro, I think, and Carmona. So those are the nearest exits here. Pero Southwoods is the nearest talaga. Parang it's just 10 minutes drive from here to sa toll gate.
Malapit na nga kayo sa Santa Rosa, no?
Pero I haven't
been sa Southwoods, no?
Oo, I haven't been outside the Pasita area ever since the pandemic started. Parang nini-nervous. I'm not yet ready. Not yet to go out. Not at this time.
Ayan. Ano daw po yung talagang what course did you took up in college way back then?
Ay nako, I am not a graduate. Hindi ako graduate ng 4 years. During my time, I don't know your age range, but I am already in my 40s. And during my time, usong-uso yung mga short courses. So I took up one of those. And I am not sure if you're familiar with this school kasi pinag-aral lang ako ng sister ko. Yung IET. I took up information technology. And that time, uso yun yung mga short courses. The 2 years course, and then you will get a short, parang a valid diploma, and then you can, you can either go on and take computer science or computer engineering. But in my case, I just finished the 2-year course, and then I'm off to somewhere else and work.
Ma'am. Ayan, so napaka-inspirational na naman yan. Nakatagpo na naman tayo ng katulad ni Ma'am Eloisa. Anyways, I think it's last year or last 2 years ago, we did a training for IETI faculty. But for for Autodesk, Sir JP. Kaya very familiar with the IETI.
Parang nung time ko nun, parang C++ pa kami. Yung mga language. It was the C++, mga ganyan. Cisco, I think we were asked to take up Cisco parang certification, but I did not pass. Kasi it was too hard. It was really hard. So, ayun.
Ayan, tsaka familiar din ba sa'yo, Sir JP, yung pag IETI, ang palagi na pumapasok sa isip natin, ICC din eh.
kasi
Oh, yan
parang
nga.
magkalapit lang eh.
Oh, I
Pero
see.
alam ko IUTI meron yung branch dito sa may Las Piñas area near City Hall if I'm not mistaken.
Oo. Sa tabi mismo.
Hmm.
Ayan, oo.
Ah.
Anyways, baka nako-cover na natin yung ibang sasabihin ni Miss Eloisa. If you have anything or slides to share, but please do it now, Miss Eloisa. And shout out to Sir Michael Santos for joining us this evening. Hi, Ma'am Cecilia Mercado, podcast launch strategist. Ayan, so siguro, Ma'am Marcel, I don't know what's your nickname, pero we're inviting you. Dapat next ata to para ma-launch naman yung ano.
Oo
Oo.
Okay?
nga. Yan.
Once more, thank you, Ma'am Sir Michael and Ma'am Maria Cecilia for joining us this evening. And sorry na lang po sa lahat ng hindi naka-attend ng live. Pero I'm definitely sure na this topic is golden po, no?
Yeah.
Kanina narinig nyo na po, no? I think kahit, tama ba Miss Eloisa, kahit high school grad, kayang magtagumpay being a podcast VA, di ba?
Yeah, oo. It's not
Yun.
parang educational degree is not required to become a podcast VA.
Ayan, oo. Tsaka the cool thing about this, yun nga, no? Aside from hindi mo kailangan ng papel, no? Papel lang tawag natin diyan. Papel lang 'yan. 'Di ba? Kaya nating kumita at makatulong sa 'di ba, sa family.
Yeah.
Okay. Ayan, so how to get started as a podcast VA. Ayan, take it away Miss Eloisa.
Ayan. Good evening, everyone. So again, thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with Sir Jomark and Sir JP. So tonight, I will be discussing how to kickstart your podcast VA career. What you will learn in this session is I will cover what is a podcast, the podcast role in a business, the podcast production as a skill, what you must have if you are going to start a podcast, and the production team and also the workflow. At the end of this presentation, sana you will be informed with the podcast post-production workflow. You will bring into use what skills you have now and apply it into post-production. And you will be enlightened if podcast production is a skill you wanted to add to your arsenal. So who am I? Ako po, my name is Eloisa and I am a mom and a loving partner to Michael, who is a data analyst in a BPO company, dyan rin sa Alabang. And I am also the co-founder of ValuePOD Productions. And my title is a podcast management and booking expert. So my story started napahapyawan ko na kanina, I am a 2-year course graduate. And during that time, parang usong-uso the people who finish courses, short courses, na it will be easier for them to work abroad. And in particular, I applied as a factory worker sa Taiwan. So I spent about 2.5 years until I was repatriated since nag-close yung company because they went to China for a lower labor cost. And when I went back, ang uso naman is call center. So during the time in Taiwan, I am a wide reader and I also serve as a part-time yung English tutor. So parang I am confident enough to apply into a call center company even though I know for a fact na I do not really have the experience. So I spent as a call center agent for about 7 years until I had my child. So it was a difficult decision kasi whenever you become a mother, parang there is another persona that is being given birth other than your child. So the graveyard shift is not fine with me anymore. The holidays, yung may pasok, the holidays, and then during her birthdays, I don't want to be not present. So I decided to jump into a work from home setup, but it was not easy. What I did is during while I am still working, I am following a online marketing guru here in the Philippines too. His name is Jomar Hilario. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but I got to know him through a newsletter sent by Brother Bo Sanchez. And that
Jomar.
yeah, Jomar Hilario. And then from there, that newsletter, Brother Bo Sanchez is parang emphasizing the um, the importance of family togetherness. And then parang he is suggesting to try this out so you can all be at home. Kasi advocate siya, di ba, ng homeschooling. And also, he wanted to have the OFWs na displaced to have an equal opportunity like the other people here in the Philippines. So I binge
Mm.
watch most of his webinars, and I stumbled upon one episode, and one episode I resonated with one of his students, because one of his students, her name is Natasha Rivera.
Mm.
She is also parang she's opening a program then, and then she invited all the attendees to join the Facebook group. So I stalked her, and then after a week yata ng webinar na yon, she opened an internship program. And I was lucky enough to be part of the internship program. And during that internship program, I get to meet Cecilia. Cecilia is, I believe, one of our viewers right now. She is my partner in ValuePOD production. So when we got together during the internship, we are not yet building our dreams of coming up with something like a brand or a service or an agency. What was
Mm.
set on stone was the time that we got to work together under one client. We were working under podcast marketing agency owner from the US. So we spent about almost 2 years working together. We were able to do management and also support in launches the podcast, because in the United States they are really a big chunk of their population our podcast listeners. So
Ah.
that's when we get exposed to the podcast production. And so during that time, we saw the need, and we saw the need to put the podcast production on the freelancing map to become not just a general VA skill, but a skill that pays premium. So that has been our mission from the very start.
Nice.
And so, ang ValuePad, I just want to let you know what ValuePad Productions is. ValuePad Productions is a podcast production company that helps podcasters build strong relationship with their audience, resulting to relentless flow of inbound leads and more business.
Well,
So,
ano na?
I will start now with my agenda. So first question is, what is a podcast? Most of the time here in the Philippines, probably the only time that you will hear about this is if some of your friends tell you about a show that they listen to, like from Mo Twister, like Fitz Villaferte, like the Eavesdrop. So those big podcast shows here in the Philippines. But in context, what is a podcast? It is an audio program. It is like a radio show, but the difference is you have to subscribe on your smartphone and listen to it on demand. Unlike kasi sa radio, you have to
Mm.
listen all the time that they are broadcasting. And also, yung podcast is your own online radio show. You do not need
Ah.
to buy frequency,
Oo.
because all you need to, later on I will explain it, how you can get your own RSS feed. So at the very end, I will discuss it in basic. So that's the difference between a podcast and a radio show, and a podcaster and a DJ, a radio DJ. And right now, how many podcasts are there? My source is podcastindex.org. And as of yesterday, they index about 1,332,838 podcasts. Some might contest that it's not like an accurate number, But imagine
It's still a
1,300,000
big number.
podcasts. It is a big number, but compared to YouTubers, it's
Mm-mm.
very small. Compared to TikTokers, it's
Mm.
very small, right? So the family or the industry is very very young, and also on top of that, compared to bloggers, because there are still people who writes. There are more bloggers than podcasters. So imagine the chance that you have to have your own online radio show. It's very very blue ocean pa siya na opportunity for all of us here in the Philippines. So what is the role in a podcast role in a business? Why do we have to tell our clients if you are a freelancers or if you are a business owner, what would it do on your business? As we all know, podcast is on top of the funnel. In a marketing funnel, that means that that's free. So free content that you are going to give your probable listeners and hopefully leads in the event that they like your content. So the big role a podcast play, on your business would be ultimate connector tool. Why do I say
Mm.
that? Imagine having to like in your case, you guys already interviewed Sheena Yap. She is miles and miles and miles away from us, but yet you had the privilege and spoken to her and talk about her, given her precious time. So imagine the opportunity that when you turn off the mic, what other things that you can present to her while you have her on the phone. So it's the ultimate connector tool. Kasi you can cold pitch all you want, send cold email all you want, but the magic happens when you invite them on the show, you get to know them, they get to
Mm-mm.
like you, and then hopefully in the end, you and the guests would probably do something out of
Yes.
that podcast.
Parang
Mm.
collaboration.
Yeah,
Yes.
collaboration.
That's right. And the second is it's a number one lead generation source for, as I made mention, it's on top of the funnel. It's a free content that you can serve to your probable listeners. Uh, and then the third one, because it's the number two and the number three point, parang they are the same. And the third one is the stage to promote free offers. Now, this is where you are going to be very, very specific on what are your core offers that you can convert into a freebie. So they will like that free stuff that you will give during the episode. And then you are going to take them into the journey of getting them as your lead and
Mm.
eventually as your paying client. So the it's going to be a journey, but the return, it's a maximum return.
Ah.
And why choose for the freelancers and the virtual assistants and probably podcasters want to be if they are still on the DIY stage? Why choose podcast production as a freelancing skill? First, syempre I'm a mom. I wanted time flexibility. Um, Once you have a relationship with the client, all you have to talk about is how you can meet the deadline. You are going to set the number of days that you have to get all the episodes that you need to produce and then hand it to him prior to that deadline or prior to that publishing date. So, a flexibility for a mother, for a parent, as long as you meet the deadlines, you're okay. And then second is consistency of work. This is not like a one-off work
Oo.
that they are going to contact you for one episode. It's not going to be like that because
Mm.
if you already uh, establish the accountability partnership between you and the clients, you will be able to help them to be consistent in producing an episode that will result, of course, for the consistency of work. And three is learning while earning. Imagine 30 minutes, for example, the the raw files or the audio file is 30 minutes long. And most of the time, the host, if it's a solo episode, what they are usually going to talk about is their expertise. Imagine learning during those 30 minutes
Oh.
that you have them on your ear. It is like a free workshop or free webinar already because they
Totoo
will
yan.
be talking about the expertise. And also, I just wanted to let the freelancers or the virtual assistants who will be listening to this that you must also choose what kind of client you are going to serve, because I learned this the hard way. I had once a client who is into fly fishing, and supposedly the 2 hour work was extended into like 5 to 6 hours because I didn't like the
Mhm.
topic. I do not know anything about fly fishing, and I do not have any plans of learning about it. So make sure that what client you're going to serve is someone that you really, really want to listen to. The topic of their interest would be something that you really wanted. And of course, for Miss Sir JP, these are the
Mm.
must-haves of a podcast. So first is the content. For now, podcast, as I made mention earlier, it's all about the audio form. However, there are right now, as when the pandemic started, a lot of the people also tried out going into producing a vodcast. That's how I call it because it's a video podcast. So it's either an audio format content or a video format content. Then the second one, of course, are the show details. What are the show details? Um, Let me just explain it to you. As you could see, Fit First and Fabulous Podcast, that's the show's title. So you must have the title of your show. And then, of course, the host, or if you're going to have a co host, you must have it too. And right at the bottom, you will see the description. So, 2 to 3 sentences of who the podcast is for and what is that about. So, at least when a person is going to search you on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, they will have a sneak peek of what they could listen to. And then the fourth and most important part is the show category. Show category is if Sir Jomark is going to do a podcast, you are not going to categorize your show as a self-help podcast show, right? Because
Mm-mm.
your expertise is about Autodesk, so it's going to be under the technology or technology news. So that's going to be very important along the way. You have to make sure you take this down,
Uh,
write this down.
Miss
Okay.
Eloisa, uh, the slide you're showing us, Courtney Violet Bentley, is she your client or just for demonstration purposes?
No, she was my client. I write
Ah,
show notes for her. So,
Oh.
yeah.
wow.
Okay.
Mm.
And then, so the third one, Sir JP, this is
Mhm.
especially dedicated for you,
Yung
is
tech
the tech
setup.
setup. Yeah, the tech setup, which I suppose you already have.
Mm.
I watched most of your videos, so I think you are all set up on that part. But for the ones that who are trying to create a podcast show, you must be ready with a computer, may it be a Mac or a PC, a microphone, because you must really invest on your microphone because that's your first step to get listeners if you have
Totoo yan.
good quality sound. And then the third one, this is an optional tech setup, the headphone. But the most important one is the recording softwares. In my case,
Hmm.
in for someone who is going to be starting out, if they are going to do like a remote interview, they can make use of Skype or Zoom. And then, if you're going to do a solo episode, you can use Audacity, which is free and can work both in Mac and in PC. And of course, the fourth one is the media host. So this is where the RSS feed comes in. Earlier, I explained that the reason The difference between a radio and a podcast is you do not have to have your own frequency, because these are the sample of the media hosts. Libsyn, Captivate.fm, and Anchor. These are just three of the few media hosts out there that when you subscribe to them, when you get their services, they are going to set up your RSS feed. The RSS
Mm.
feed is the language that the podcast directories only understand. So that's why you do not need to have a frequency. And then the fifth one, of course, is the show publication. Now, once you have your RSS feed, you have your media host, you have everything set up, recorded your first episode, then it's time for you to submit it to the podcast directories. I just put three samples here, but they're in right now. I think as far as I know, it's only 35 podcast directories out there. But the three big ones are the Apple Podcast, which is iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher.
Apple po yata, yung Apple Podcast yung parang isa talaga sa mga pinakasinauna, no?
Oo, sila talaga yung naghari. Then Spotify just and Spotify is now getting bigger and bigger.
Mm.
And then the podcast production team, I am going to introduce the the podcast introduction team. First would be the editor. Podcast editor, this is your audio person, the one who makes the audio to always hit the 16 decibel sweet spot. This is ito yung sinasabi, Cecilia would always say it, that this is the person who does the magic and makes you sound so professional as much as possible. Kasi you need to highlight, if your client has a solo episode, you need to highlight their expertise. And if they have a guest, you also have to highlight their expertise. You do not want them to sound as if they do not know what they are talking about. That's why the audio person's work is very, very important. And then the second one is the show notes writer. Show notes writer, what does it do? Is it the same as an article writer, a technical writer, or a blog writer? Those are the show notes writer is a different type of writer. What I'm going to show you one of my clients' podcast episode 2. So the part of the show notes would start with the headline, of course, the title of the show. And then the show notes writer would also be responsible in writing the summary. This would be consisting of about 100 to 200 words, just to give you like a short description and to tease you and entice you to listen. Because if you are a wide reader, your intention really in doing a podcast is to get them to subscribe to your show. Subscribe, not just read your show notes. You need them to subscribe. And one of the things that you could entice your listeners to be a subscriber is through the summary or the short description. So this is going to be like a sneak peek and the enticing, persuading them to subscribe to the show. And then the bullet points. This is where you will get like the key takeaways for each episode. So it's not going to tell you what does the episode is all about, but it's going to give you like the key points. And then of course, you must not really neglect the links and resources, because this is where the part that you will have to remind them again to subscribe to your show. And also, if you, for example, for Sir JP, if he's going to do a podcast, he must include the links and resources on the show notes too. Why? Because he wanted to point them to the right direction of the things that you have mentioned on the show. Like just like what you do on your YouTube channel, right? If you wanted them to go back to a certain episode, you're going to put it in the description of the episode, just like on a podcast episode. And then the third one is a social media manager. What does it do is it's going to create social media creatives that you will use for promotion. Samples are audiograms or videogram creations. I'm not sure if you're familiar or if you have seen any here in LinkedIn. I've seen a lot. They are doing like a still image and then there are waveforms. Those are
Mhm.
audiograms. And you will
Mm.
also see, since most of the people right now are venturing into vodcast, they are also cutting snippets of their video podcast and turning it into a video snippet where you can
Parang
see like a
trailer.
progress bar, yeah, and then you will see the captions. I've seen that a lot with Gary Vaynerchuk. So
Mm.
those are just one of the creatives that you are going to prepare if you are a social media manager. Second is the quote cards. So those are the quotes that you got from the episode, the key takeaways, and something that will catch the eyes,
Mhm.
that will stop you from scrolling. So those are
Mm.
the quote cards. And then the third task would be you must schedule the social media post. I suggest you do it before, during, and after the publishing of the podcast. And then the fourth one is the podcast manager. This is the last touch and gatekeeper. Now, I just wanted to tell you that if your client is on a budget, most of the time, those four roles are going to be you. You will be the editor. You will be the show notes writer. You will be the one who's going to prepare all the media, social media creatives, and you will also be the last one to touch it and make sure that everything goes out on time and publish on the certain time. And syempre yung workflow. The last one
Nakarelate
would be
ako
the workflow. So this is
nakarelate ako
for,
bigla dun sa
again,
ano ma'am, sa last point ninyo.
and this is
Parang ako
also
lahat,
for
eh.
you, Sir JP, sa workflow. So if you are going to, if you have a budget, parang if you have a client who already has a budget, all they have to do is record. They are going to save it in a Dropbox or a Google Drive and send it to post production. What will the post production do? The four major tasks that I mentioned earlier: edit, write, promote, and publish. And so this is, we've come to the end of my presentation. As I have been a podcast manager for about 4 years now, I experience a lot of clients who fade away. We gave it a term that says pod fade. Most of them never really publish after like 10 or 11 episodes. I also have a few clients who never get to launch. The reason is they overthink the post
Mhm.
production, they overthink the content, and they always compare themselves to the podcasters who had gone before them. But
Mm.
for you, for every one of you, and also for the people who are saying that you're just saying that because you have been a podcast manager for 4 years, I wanted you to start ugly. Start ugly. It doesn't have to be perfect at the first time. I think most of them, if you are going to scroll down on the big Instagram people, if you are going to scroll down on their first post, it's not that very beautiful and pretty
Mhm.
and enticing. If you are going to listen to the first podcast episodes of the people who had gone before you, I am absolutely certain that it is not as pretty as you would thought that it would be. Just like, I don't know, Sir JP, if you have remember your first YouTube video. I don't
Yes.
think it's the best YouTube episode that you have, right? Because it's always the first.
Yeah.
So I encourage you all to start ugly.
Yeah, it's true.
Ayan,
Ako
tama.
believe
And
ako diyan.
enjoy the ano pala, no? Enjoy the journey. Di ba,
Mm,
sir?
Oo.
tama 'yun.
Okay.
Ayan.
Once more to our viewers, yung mga hindi familiar or kakarating lang sa pangyayari, Miss Eloisa is a podcast manager expert, and she has worked with many big time podcasters. So alam na alam niya kung paano pagandahin yan, and she had helped a lot of podcasters succeed. Ayan. Can you share to us some of your ma'am, big names na nakatrabaho na?
Yeah, I don't know if they know any of these people because some of them are big in the US. Most of them are from the fitness industry. Those the likes of Vince Del Monte. Cecilia and I have worked with Vince's team. Steve Weatherford, Chris Gettin, right? Uh, who else?
Ano
Yeah,
yung mga
those are
numbers niyan, ma'am? Ano yung mga numbers nila? Ilang
the
downloads nila, ma'am?
ano na, it's about 1 million na siguro right now. And I cannot really I cannot
A
say the
million a
other
month?
two.
A
No,
million
na
a month?
a million total download.
Total.
Yeah, but I have one client who has more or less 200 downloads every month. But I cannot disclose his name because I signed an NDA.
Ayun.
So, but yun, siya, he averages 200,000 downloads every month. And one of my clients, yung kanina included in my presentation, si Sam, we just hit a million
Wow.
downloads over the weekend. And Sir JP, you will not believe, we already reached 237 episodes and none of it has a guest.
Wow.
Parang yeah, we only have five
Mm.
yata, but because those are her coaching calls kasi she's a
Mhm.
coach, and then
Mm.
whenever we are doing a launch we wanted to highlight her coaching
Oo.
expertise. So we once in a while we do that so we can have a successful launch. So
Okay.
imagine 200 plus episodes, her talking alone, all that, and the maximum length of her show is 40 to 45 minutes, 200 plus
Ang
episodes, and
ang haba nun.
we started like 16 downloads a month, and then it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows.
Ang galing
So
niya
we are,
magsalita.
yeah,
Oo.
non-stop.
Mm.
Tsaka
Kasi imagine mo,
nagulat
Sir
ako.
JP, ikaw lang mag-isa yun, di ba? Tapos,
Oh.
na-engage mo sila, di ba? Hindi mo
Hmm.
kailangan ng iba, ikaw lang, sapat na. Hindi lang sapat,
For
sobra pa.
40 minutes.
40
Oo.
minutes.
Parang listen to me for 40 minutes and people are doing it.
Pang
Nagulat din ako,
pastor level yan.
nagulat din ako na sa sinabi ni Ma'am Eloisa na most of the podcast na she handled was fitness. Kasi ako, I'm thinking na pag fitness, syempre yung mga gym, mga workouts, ano yung sinasabi lang for 40 minutes? Parang 1, 2, 3, mga ganun ba? Or,
No,
Oo nga, ma'am.
di ba? Ano yung mga
parang
dinidiscuss nila? Ano mga sample?
most of them are conversations with the expert industries as well, kasi they are really into that, the fitness people. They wanted to collaborate with the people na siya sa parang complementing sa ginagawa nila. I do not know if you were into keto. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Jockers.
Dr. Jockers, nakarinig na
Yeah,
ako mismo sa
he's
kanya.
one of our clients sa dun sa
Wow.
marketing agency. So he does he rarely does solo episodes, but I think he does a couple. But he always interviews industry expert. So those are the people na from the key. Parang he has a supplement. I don't know what his business really, but he is one of the larger people that has parang good amount of downloads every month. Kasi he is niche specific eh. He is a doctor and he is into keto and he is teaching how to do it the scientific way. So very specific yung ginagawa niya. And then the other people who are into fitness, most of them are motivations. Yung why do you quit? What will you do if you quit going to the gym? What will you do if you gain 2 to 3 pounds during the holidays or 5 pounds? Just like what you're doing, sir. Iba you're doing the challenge right now. They are also
Tama.
doing it. like the preparation on what you should do during Thanksgiving, what you're going to do during the holidays and after the holidays. So most of the time I hear them, don't be so hard on yourself, because most of the time, di ba, people has an all or nothing mindset that if I'm
Hmm.
not going to the gym right now, I'm not going to the gym the whole week. So
Oh, may
most of
mga
them
ganun talaga.
motivational yung inano nila, yung sa pagkain, tapos yun, usually yun talaga, mindset. Kasi 30 minutes, imagine if, di ba parang you are directly talking to their brains. Kasi,
Hmm.
di
Oo,
ba,
oo.
right in the middle of the ears are the brains. So, parang brainwashing mo sila eh. And
Okay.
honestly, the reason why I wanted Sir JP to do it, no, kasi I wanted you to realize that I haven't heard anyone na nagkaroon ng mga podcast listening party. Di ba tayo
Mhm.
sa Facebook, they have a watch
Watch
party.
party.
Mm.
Oo, tapos di ba sa YouTube, parang they do a live stream. Then we can go all together and chat anything
Hmm.
about it and type something on the
Tama.
chat. But the podcast is an intimate conversation. It's an
Oo nga.
invitation. It's a private invitation by the host for the
To be
listener.
brainwashed.
Oo. Parang, tapos hindi rin magbebenta ka.
Ah.
Pero yun yung
Pero,
establishing the know, like, and trust
hmm.
factor.
Oo.
Nagulat lang ako for this lesson, no. Number one is the negative 16 decibels.
Oh,
So
yun. Oo, oo.
I haven't explored that kasi sabi ko nga kanina, Ma'am Eloisa, na in-explore ko yung my videos, I want to make it into podcast, so I'm trying to make videos na pagka hindi mo nakikita physically or hindi mo nakikita visually, napapakinggan mo, okay pa rin. So I'm trying to explore that after our interview with Ma'am Sheena Yatchan. And nagulat ako na yung mundo ng pagpa-podcast, kasi nga, di ba, yung fitness, and then you talked about fitness na napakalawak ng spectrum, parang kahit ano pala pwede mong i-podcast. Then
Oo.
pag nakita mo yung niche market mo, sure na may magda-download. No.
Oo, totoo yan. If I could share, yung client ko na just hit 1 million download, yung pinakita ko rin kanina, si Sam, did you know that her niche is she is helping perfectionists?
Yeah.
Perfectionists. She is a
So,
coach for perfectionists. So imagine, have you heard someone na
wow.
Ano?
coaching someone who is a perfectionist? So that's what she does. That's what she
Ang
does.
galing nun.
So di ba?
Oo. Tama, di ba? Sa ibang
Oo.
tao, conflicting nga sa kanila yan. May ibang tao na pinopromote na no one will be a perfect person, di ba? Ang galing.
Pero may
Talaga
niche.
siya,
Pinulfil niya
specific.
niya yun.
Kami, ano ba to? Ano ko eh, I am very passionate when I am talking about podcasting, kasi I've seen a lot of people parang aching for human connection, especially during the start of the pandemic. So this is my way of telling them na if you get invited by someone na like for me as a mother, I just go to Spotify and then just type in my stuff, my topic of interest. Let's say I wanted to learn more about personal development. I will just type in sa Spotify personal development. And then I will take that content kasama ko during whenever I wash my clothes, whenever I do the laundry, whenever I wash the dishes. It's
Oo nga.
it's parang talagang parang kayo nag-uusap eh. And then you will resonate with her na, oo nga, she said something na, oh my God, totoo nga yung sinabi niya. This is the same thing that I am experiencing right now. So, mahuhook ka, magli-listen ka ng mga susunod niyang episode, and then what you will end up doing is you're going to tell it to your amigas. Kasi di ba nakakuha ka ng parang katsismisan mo na hindi nagsasalita. Nasalita lang ng salita eh, di ba? So sasabihin mo sa mga amiga mo, "Huy amiga, you got to listen to this girl. She says she teaches more about perfectionism, and I think we needed her stuff." So yun na siya, ganun siya yung nagre-ripple effect yung ng podcast. At saka kasi on demand. 'Di ba? You do not need na mag-tune in ka at a specific time. You can have it at the time of your kung kailan ka okay, of your convenience, the time of your convenience.
Tsaka mababa
Ma'am,
ang bandwidth, 'di ba? Kasi audio file lang.
Oo nga eh.
At saka
Ma'am
kung
Eloisa,
babae, di ba, hindi na
yep,
magme-makeup. Ang hirap
Oo nga.
mag-makeup eh.
Oo nga, no?
Di ba? Ang
Tama
hirap
yun.
mag-makeup. Full prod eh.
Have you handled live stream yung podcast nila?
Yes, I have. In fact, I have one client. We do it, di ba, Sevi? May client ako, what she does is she does live stream inside her Facebook group because that's how she sells inside the Facebook group. And then what we do is we publish it for omnipresence. Ano ba yung omnipresence, diba? Siyempre, if you have it on live video, you just rip the audio, convert it into a podcast, and then repurpose it, parang i-republish mo into a YouTube video. And then you could chopin mo siya, and you can use it as a promotional piece. On top of that, a podcast manager can also get the transcription. So full transcription, and now you have a blog post other than the show notes for SEO purposes. So a lot of things that you can do with a Facebook Live. So I have one client who does it. She does it really, really well because she is selling to during a Facebook Live. But she does it inside the group kasi she knows the importance right now of community. So she does all her Facebook Lives inside the group. And then we just repurpose it into a podcast. Kasi rip lang naman, we're just going to get the audio and then it's all done.
Oo.
Papalakpak
Sir JP.
ako. Galing.
Inspiring ba?
Inspiring kasi actually yung ginawa ni Ma'am Eloisa, I tried doing that with one of my live streams. Ang hirap. Ito mama, imagine, I was the one who did the live stream. So ako yung nag-shoot, ako yung nag-record. Siyempre, ako yung host. Then sinubukan ko siyang i-cut into yung parang tanggalin ko yung mga everything for yung 2-hour video, tatanggalin. So, hindi ko siya nagawa. Basically, hindi ko na-launch yung live stream na yun na i-cut into the finer point. So, ang galing ng mga gumagawa ng ganyan for podcast. They cut the live stream. Matrabaho. They cut the 2-hour live stream into something na quality video. Tinanggal nila yung audio. They make it into a quality podcast. And then, yung sinabi nyo pang gagawin yung vlog, gagawin yung... Ang galing nun. Ako, hindi ko nagawa yun. Hindi ko kinaya. Ang hirap.
Parang sige, sir, usap tayo. Because I don't know if you have done your research, if there are any fitness podcasts right now. A Filipino podcaster. I don't know if you have done.
Who's into fitness?
Spotify.
Sir JP.
Let's go to Spotify.
Wala pa akong nakita sa fitness sector. Pero nung nag-research ako about podcast, kasi diba nagkaroon kami na interest si Sir Jom, nakita ko, surprisingly, ang top 1 podcast that time was Typical Filipino Crap.
Mm-mm.
So ang topic ni Typical Filipino Crap is mga love life, mga ganun. Mga love life, mga issue ng kabataan na tipong mga love life na high school. So sabi ko, teka, when we were discussing with Ma'am Sheena Yapchan, parang ang idea ng podcast from her, ang naintindihan ko from her perspective, yung parang medyo sosyalin. Pero hindi pala. With Typical Pinoy Crap being the top 1 podcast for that season, parang teka, para sa lahat pala kasi sobrang pangmasa nung mga topics niya. So yun.
Totoo.
So sa fitness, ma'am, sa Philippines, hindi pa ako nakakapag-research. Siguro bukas mag-research ako, tingnan ko kung sino mga
Kasi parang yun, kasi di ba dito sa atin sa Philippines, I think most of the coaches focus on videos. The reason is, I think most of the time their content is about how to do to do the dumbbell, the shoulder press properly. They focus on that. I haven't heard or haven't seen anyone really touching on the mindset. Kasi
Oo nga.
really the mindset is the first one that you should fix whenever you are into a fitness journey. Di ba? Ang
Oo nga,
hirap
no?
kasi
Tama,
whenever you
tama.
lose the motivation. So talagang I am talking to you, Sir JP.
Oo nga,
I'm
nararamdaman ko
really
eh.
encouraging you. Kasi you can do, right
Oo.
now, you can do it on your own. Diba, you can do DIY. And then, Cecilia and I are only a PM away on Facebook or on LinkedIn. If you needed help, we can certainly help you with whatever questions you have.
Pwede ma'am. Kasi parang gusto ko mag-diversify nito by next year. And ako, personally, helping people lose their weight pero without any papeles. Wala rin naman akong papeles. I'm not a coach, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I deal more on the topics na sinasabi niyo, which is mindset.
Mm-mm.
Kasi
At
I
dito
believe
rin kasi,
Panalo.
it's all
totoo,
about
dito
mindset.
kasi
It's
sa
all about mindset eh.
Totoo. Dito kasi sa Pilipinas, dito lang yata, or I don't know, maybe around the world, parang yung school mentality that you really have to have a diploma before you can talk about something. If you know parang 1% up of, I do not know anything about keto. I do not know anything about low carb. But you, I think, Sir JP, knows more than me. So, of course, I'm going to listen to you kasi I'm not an expert on that part. I am not even going to ask you to present me certifications before you can say something
Oo nga.
about that topic. Kasi you're going to share your expertise and your experiences and the results.
Oo,
Kaya tingin ko ma'am,
trusted advisor talaga.
maganda nga na parang lahat ng ginigest ni Sir Joe Mark dito sa kanyang show, parang ako yung pinapatamaan.
Para sa iyo yata 'to eh.
Lahat. Parang sinasadya ni Sir Joe Mark.
Oo, para sa kanya talaga to, ma'am. With regards to Miss Sheena Yap, kung ikaw ang handle, Miss Eloisa, anong parang points for improvement para sa kanyang podcast on your own point of view?
For her show.
Kung ikaw ang handle, ano pa yung mga mai-improve niya?
Well, first of all, she has a lot of downloads na parang she hit the 1 million mark na, But she has a lot of guests. I really wanted her to do her, I wanted to hear her, more of her in the next few episodes. And also, I am going to help her pitch on other shows because not only the tasks that I mentioned earlier are not only the tasks that you can offer. In fact, you can also help your clients be on other shows and or get quality guests that will end up like a JV partner, a webinar swap, a potential affiliate partner. So those are the stuff that you can really do for your clients. But for Miss Sheena, other than getting her on other shows, I really wanted to hear her voice, more of her voice on the next episodes.
Oo nga.
Yeah, I noticed that most of the time she promotes other people. It's high time that she does it for herself. I think. I listen to more of her voice and showcase her expertise.
Mm-mm. Have you seen how about Miss Jeanette's Kahukom's podcast? Have you seen her podcast? Any advice?
Same thing. Kasi she same I think most of the people who doesn't do a solo episodes is they are scared that they are going to run out of something to say. If that would be the case, you are not really clear on who to talk to. The reason is the show should not be about you. It should be the other person on the other side. So, like Sir JP, he always does is cow, you. Whenever I saw his videos, he is really in particular that he's very specific that he's talking to the person right next to the video. Same thing
Mm-mm.
with the podcast. If you are going to do a solo episode, it's not going to be for you. You are not even required to listen to it. Kasi you're going to be conscious of what to say.
Oo nga.
But
Oo.
if you are really thinking about of that, your perfect listener avatar, that's what we call it. Se and I call it our perfect listener avatar. Then you will not run out of something to say.
Mhm.
So more of them, and if they have like a success story, yung if they have helped someone else, yung hindi siya big guest,
Mm-mm.
it's someone that they have helped with their expertise. I wanted to hear that chismosa ako eh. I wanted to hear what she did to this person that transformed them to a better person. So I really wanted to
Parang
hear success stories, yung mga ganun,
parang
if they are into.
testimonials
Oh, yun yung
Oo.
testimonial.
na
Yan.
mga clients nila. It's
Mhm.
good, tama yun.
Ayan. Once more, shout out to our viewers this evening, Sir JR. Ayan. Sir Raymond Victorino, Ma'am Jeanette. Ayan. So, Sir Raymond, sana ano ka na rin, no? Mag-podcast. Eto na, sir. And,
You can connect, di ba? You can connect with me if you have really, if you have any questions. All you have to do is just send the PM away.
oo. Okay, I just want to highlight no yung sinabi ni Miss Mazel no. Tama naman yung sa mga solo podcaster, humanizing connection with the audience through solo content.
Mm-mm.
Ayan. Golden din 'yan. Mm.
Diba? Si Sir JP, he does it very well.
Oo, ma'am.
Gusto ko sanang tanong sa free consultation session na to no.
Tanungin mo na, sir. After nito, hindi na natin alam.
Kaya nga tanungin natin. Kasi nga, I was mentioning earlier na I'm trying to turn my videos into parang podcast type. Pero lumalabas na parang 3 minutes lang sila. Okay lang ba yung mga ganon? Or kasi kanina narinig ko parang 40 minutes, 50 minutes, parang ang haba nun. Tapos yung nagagawa ko, personally, wala na yung mga intro-outro ng mga videos ko. Parang 3 minutes worth of content lang yun for a podcast. Okay lang ba yung mga ganoon?
Yes, I think it's okay. Ano naman yan it's parang it depends on your audience din on your listener. Kasi they will be, sila yung magsasabi sa'yo, they will tell you na, Sir JP, nakakabitin yung 3-minute episode mo. And then what you will do, you're going to take it higher. 5 minutes naman this time. And then someone will say, 5 minutes lang, can you make it longer? And then you're going to produce another 10-minute episode. If you know Neil Patel and Eric Su, they have a daily podcast. It's
Patel,
called
yes.
Marketing School. Their stuff is not longer than 4 minutes. It's a daily podcast. And in that 4 minutes, they are able to give actionable steps, which I believe you could do on your own, on your content. Unless sabihin na lang, kasi the feedback, those are golden. Your listeners and your followers, they are going to tell you, they will be sila magtitimon, sasabihin nila sa'yo, makakabitin. So you are going to progress it and then record at longer length na.
Ayan. Eto ma'am, mabigat na tanong daw. You have helped a lot of podcasters. Bakit daw hindi kayo mag-podcast na din?
Yeah.
Is the pay lucrative na kasi din? Or
where's Cecilia? Cecilia, help me out.
Ma'am Se.
Cecilia, help me out. Cecilia and I have, in combined, parang we have launched more than 100. Launch and manage more than 100 podcasts. Kasi 4 years na we have been doing this. So in combine namin yung effort namin. And also on top of that, we were lucky enough that during the quarantine period, we launched a course specific for VAs. Yung mga VAs na, kasi nga yung mission namin is to get them paid ng much higher na na-pay sila using the podcast production skill. And so we have been professors. So right now we're going to be a practitioner. We will be launching our own show this December.
Yan.
So Cecilia and I,
Yay!
you can find the trailer now. You just have to search for the Value Podcast show. So the trailer is already out and we will be launching it in December.
Yan.
So we are not only professors, teachers, or mga iba, sila Steven Spielberg, they are directors, but they haven't act on their own movies. So we have
Parang
done
ganun.
enough.
Oo.
We have done enough. So
Parang
we're going to take it
nilatag muna nila yung mga pundasyon. Diba? Para gano'n, bago nila sinimulan, nilatag muna nila yung pundasyon. Inalam muna nila kung ano yung mga okay, di ba? Para gano'n ginawa nila Uloy.
Ayan. So December, we're going to launch it full-blown na.
Ayan, so I'm sure yung mga makakahanap ng video na to, babalik ulit sila sa tanong, ma'am. Why should I be a podcast VA? Magkano ba ang kaching-kaching dyan? Ayan, tatanungin sa atin yan. Bakit ako magkakareer ng podcast VA? Baka naman ano lang yan, di ba? Ganito lang yan.
Well, I cannot really deny the fact that most of the time, yan yung mindset. Our mindset is on the lang siya, na expense. I lost a couple of clients and did not went ahead on doing or publishing any podcast episodes during the quarantine or the pandemic, when the pandemic started, only because they think it's an expense. So if you are a freelancer and a virtual assistant right now, and you are on the fence if this is right for you, kasi I am going to tell you, this is not going to give them instant ROI, just like Facebook ads or any ads can do. Kasi this is really a very, very slow burn. It's a slow burn. Siya? It's a journey. Pero yun nga, the return is going to be maximum.
Pang long term.
Yung pang long term. Hindi siya yung tipong ka ngayon, makakakuha ka ng maraming pera. Now, this is where your mindset is going to play a big role. Kasi if you are going to think about that this is not a necessary part of the business of your client, then they will feel it. They will feel that, oh my God, they do not believe on my message, and why would I even continue on doing this? Kasi it's going to take up so much of my time. This is not something that you can outsource. You cannot ask somebody else to do the podcast for you kasi it's your voice, di ba? Just like on videos. This is not a blog that you can get some writer or ghostwriters and do the writing for you. This is going to be a personal effort. So now, this is your responsibility. You should be the first believer that they have an important message. Because if a client believes that just one person believes on them, they are not going to doubt themselves. And they are going to think that this is an essential part of the business, and I need someone to take care of this. Because as we all know, we do not win alone, di ba? Kailangan may team tayo para we grow strong. So iisipin niya na I am going to focus on producing, because someone here can take care of the dirty works, and I can focus on my content, and kung saan ako magaling. Di ba? Kung saan siya magaling. So kung halimbawa ikaw sasabihin mo kay client na, oo nga, huwag ka na mag-podcast. Di ba? Parang mawawalan na rin siya ng mawawalan na rin siya ng belief sa sarili niya. But the pay is really how you position yourself. How do you ano ka lang ba? Do you project na yung parang you are just after the pay, or are you going to make them feel that you are here to help because they have an important message that they have to
Yun.
get out of this world? So, mararamdaman yan eh. So, you have to position yourself as someone that really, really believes on their message, someone who can do the dirty works so they can do their stuff para magkaroon kayo ng ng effect na malaki. So, the pay, I'm not going to say how much I'm earning, but I am able to live comfortably. I am able to pay my taxes. I can take care of my family, and we're comfortable. Parang we do not, hindi naman kami, I am not really on the mindset of luck. Yung parang, ay kulang, hindi, ganun. So, regardless of how much you think you are worth, this is something that you might want to to venture on, or gusto nyong maaral siya, just to add a little bit of skills. Not really because you're after a big rate, but maybe just because you really, really believe that some of the people that you're going to talk to need help broadcasting their message. So, yeah, it's a lucrative. I'm telling you, especially if sa booking, it's very lucrative because it's PR. So,
Oo.
I do it. I do it eh. So, I know how lucrative it is. So, pero you really have to position yourself that you are not really after the pay, but after helping them broadcast the message, the important message.
Ayan, so guys, once more, no, imagine nyo, Miss Eloisa is the manager. Paano pa kaya kung ma'am, yung podcaster mismo? Paano pala yun?
How they can, how they...
How do they earn? How lucrative?
oo.
Is it lucrative as well?
So some people, some podcasters like the big ones, parang yung mga celebrity, celebrity level. Syempre, they are after sponsorship. If they get to have like big companies to sponsor their show, then kikita sila through sponsorship. But Cecilia and I is not an advocate of earning through sponsorship, because most of the time parang your creativeness might be tied on that sponsor, and then
Baka
just
mahinder.
oo, di ba? Parang
Control.
one wrong word and then puputulin nila the relationship between you
May constraints,
and pero in our experience, most of our clients really earn through what they have right now. Coaching, the courses that they have, affiliates, the books, the digital products, and the consultations, the offline events, the speaking. So those are a few things that how they earn. They do not really earn kasi this is not like YouTube. 'Di ba sa YouTube pay yung mga maraming mahahabang
Ad
view.
placements, yes.
Oo, yung ganon.
Ads.
Podcasting is not the same as yung pagsweldo sa YouTube. Pero naniniwala ko, it's not going to be hindi malalayo. I believe that right now, especially that Spotify is acquiring a lot of exclusive shows like Michelle Obama, like Joe Rogan. I don't think Joe Rogan is going to sign a contract with them just because he's just going to do an audio. So my thinking is they are also going to venture into videos. And right now, they are acquiring a lot of companies. The recent one is Megaphone. Megaphone is the largest company in the United States that caters, that their expertise is ad insertion. So why would Spotify get this, acquire this company? Syempre, they have a plan. They have a plan of getting bigger. They really have a plan to kicking Apple on the on the map of the podcasting world. So they
Mhm.
really have a plan. So watch out of what else it can offer. So right now it's a growing industry. Podcasters might not have like a direct pay from the directories, but who knows? Diba? Who knows? It's not going to be next year, but most probably in the next 5 years, possible. It's going to be possible. So what else can we think that they can do?
Oo.
Diba?
Tama.
Sir JP.
Pwede rin siguro mag-earn through Patreon, yung mga ganun, mga
Oo.
third-party websites na baka pwede kang gumawa ng ganitong video, yung mga ganun.
Mm.
Ito sir,
Yeah.
meron tayong question dito from
Okay.
Caffeine Boost Podcast.
Sige, sir. Sir JP, go ahead.
Ayan.
Please read.
Hi, I'm enjoying the show now. Bravo. Question. What is the best day based on analytics to release a podcast episode? Gandang tanong nito. Gandang tanong
Oo.
nito.
Ang galing.
Timing ulit.
Ang galing
It's about the
naman.
timing.
Ganda
Ang
tanong
galing
yan.
naman ni Caffeine Boost
Oh.
Podcast. Well, in my case, if you have already a podcast, I think your data would say when is the best time. Now, if you are a mom, if you are a podcaster whose niche is specific, yung parang ang mom show ka, well, I suggest you publish every Tuesday and Wednesday. Reason is Monday erratic. Nanay di ba? Monday erratic yan eh. Friday erratic din yan. So do not. And do not also publish on the weekend. And on the holidays. I don't think anyone would listen during the holidays unless very, very few would listen. Now, at the back end of, if you have the media hosting information at the back end, or if you have your access to your Apple Podcast account, it will tell you, they are going to provide you the insights on what are the best days to publish. Because at the back end, like on Libsyn and Captivate.fm, they are going to show you the highest day of downloads. So that's a big indication if it's consistently in a month, every Monday, there's a spike of downloads every Monday. For the whole month of, let's say you review your analytics, and then for the whole month of October, you see a big spike every Monday. So that would tell you every Monday is the best to publish the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? So you go to your back end, you review your analytics. I am very big with data kasi. You can also go to your Apple Connect account. It will tell you. It will also tell you inside your Apple account. It will also tell you the retention listens. Yung kung saan bumibitaw.
Mm-hmm.
Saan bumibitaw si listener. So if it's a 40-minute episode, they are going to give you saan bumababa yung listenership.
Parang,
so that's only available in Apple. I don't know with
audience retention ang tawag nila doon para sa YouTube. Yun. Kung anong oras, ilang minuto bago sila nagsa-stop. Tama.
Sa mga clients nyo, ma'am, ano mas madalas? They started out as podcast, venturing into YouTube, or mga YouTuber na sila venturing into podcasting? Ano yung mas nakikita mo?
Kasi ito lahat to mga US clients. So, majority kasi talaga, nagpa-podcast talaga. Podcast.
Saka
and then,
nag-YouTube na lang.
Hindi. Most of them didn't do YouTube. Parang most of them did the Facebook, the live streams. Pero not really, the full production just like what you'd see on YouTube. Pero they do live stream. Yung sa YouTube, sa Facebook, and all other, video platforms. So that's what they did. This is I just noticed this at the very start of the pandemic. Na they also wanted to do live streams. So yun, most of them started talaga sa podcaster. Audio podcast yun.
Yeah. Sir JP, ikaw.
Kasi yung live stream, no, napansin ko lang din ang live stream parang podcast na walang cut.
Podcast diba na si Joe Rogan?
Na-roll lang talaga na microphone and me. or microphone me and my guest. Parang ganun lang. Tama naman yung point na yan. And it actually makes sense na pagka nag-spike ng Monday, dun sa sinabi niyo before na dahil nga Tuesday at Wednesday, yun yung parang chill day ng mga moms, or ito yung time you do your laundry, this is the time you do your housework, parang gano'n na ito yung papakinggan mo on your earpods or something para ano. Tama. Ayan. Thank you daw, sabi ni Caffeine Booth Podcast.
Ay, thank you. Thank you sa question.
Para kay Caffeine Boost Podcast, masasabi ko lang, i-launch nyo po yung inyong podcast ng umaga or kaya gabi. Kasi kape.
Baka nga.
Yan yung best time. Di ba? I-launch yung podcast nyo. Hindi ko alam kung na araw, pero yung oras yan ang best time.
Oo, tama.
Ang galing.
Basta ako, Sir Jomark, na-inspire ako, naengganyo ako mag-start ng podcast. I still don't know when, no? Pero parang naengganyo ako to explore this again. Kumbaga, from the first episode na discuss natin yung podcast, for some reason, yung vlogs ko nag-shift into something like parang podcast style eh. Tapos with Ma'am Eloise's information now, lalo yung negative 16 decibels, doon ako na-shock. Parang wow, parang bago yun na. So,
why negative 16 daw, ma'am? Paano ba yung audio meter niyan?
At depende sa ano ba to? Sa gamit nyo. Pero ako, in my case, ang gamit ko is Auphonic. I can, parang after I do the editing, I treat the audio first. Syempre matagal na namin ginagawa. We are able to invest on some plugins, some tools. So the editing, we can treat the audio first, and then we do the editing, and then we use another tool for the compression and hitting that sweet spot of the negative 16 decibels. So we use Auphonic. I use Auphonic para doon for the compression and then hitting that sweet spot. Reason why we call it sweet spot is yung, di ba pag nagka-earphone ka, yun yung tamang spot para hindi ka mabingi sa sobrang lakas at saka hindi ka rin mainis sa sobrang hina. So yun yung tamang-tamang timpla ng volume para sa tenga. So, may ginagamit akong tool para doon, which is yung Auphonic. Pero a lot of people na marunong talaga, yung they can do mastering, yung yung sa audio talaga. Like Dave Visaya, yun, magaling yun siya sa talaga, parang very, very techy siya. So, I don't know how his process is kung doon na agad, direkta na agad dun sa editing software or may isa pa silang ginagamit. But personally, on my end, I do the, I use Auphonic. Yun.
Ayan. Another question. Sa mga clients nyo, ma'am, ano yung lagi nilang ginagamit or preferred nilang microphone?
Ganda
kasi,
yan.
kasi ito mga
Papag-ipunan na yan, Sir JP.
So, parang most of them are using ATR 2100, most of them. But I have one client talagang yung studio type siya. So siya, parang Rode. Yung niya, Rode mic, yun. So, pero you can start using yung ATR or yung Samsung Q2U. Yun yung pwede nyo rin yung Boya. Meron rin silang nilalabas ng mga magaganda naman good sounding microphone na abot kaya naman ng kasi mahirap pag i-edit.
Yung Boya, siya yung gamit ko ngayon eh. And then yung Rode minsan nakagamit ako when I was vlogging using professional na Iba yung kalidad ng Rode, nakita ko na yun. Pero wala pa akong feedback sa Samsung Q2U tsaka sa ATR. Mukhang promising yung ATR.
Oo, yung Samsung, ito Samsung ko eh. Ito.
Yan.
Ayan, Samsung.
USB din yan, ma'am.
Dalawa. Oo, USB tsaka
yan.
So, pwedeng USB, pwedeng video okay.
Oo. Pang singer.
Hindi mo na kailangan ng interface. Pag USB. Okay yan, okay yan.
Ayan.
Nice. Okay.
Ayan. Sir JB, katanungan pa.
Naubos na yata yung tanong ko. Hindi ko na alam yung tatanong ko. Parang gusto ko na uli mag-explore.
Sige,
ang galing.
connect tayo, sir.
Oh.
PM ka lang ng tanong.
Ang galing ng mga podcasters, ang galing ng mundo nyo. Parang nakakaengganyo siya, nakakatuwa gawin.
Ayan, before we wrap things up, sorry, tatlo lang yung not our loss, tatlo lang yung nag-register, mas preferred nila makinig lang, ayaw nila mag-give down ng info. Anyways, we'll be raffling one career premium and LinkedIn Learning subscription and to the one lucky winner. So what's in LinkedIn Learning? Marami rin pong mga lessons there about podcasting, video creation. So this can be really helpful to you pag busy masyado sila Ma'am Eloisa, hindi makater yung tanong nyo about podcasting. You may refer to to LinkedIn Learning, to our lucky winner. Na-curious tuloy ako meron dito, Sir JP, podcasting. Ano kaya lalabas? Ano mga courses nila dito? Ayan. They have 64. They have 64 courses about podcasting. Ang unang lumabas, producing podcast. Uy, napanood ko na pala, sir. Kulang na lang ako ng 6 minutes. Ayan, natapos ko na yung content marketing, how to podcast. Ayan. So ayan, they have 64 courses for you to learn more about podcasting. Okay, and we have another question, Sir JP.
Yan, from Sir Caffeine Boost Podcast, no? What is the future of podcasting in the next 5 years? Gandang question ito. Should I invest my time in podcasting? So, Ma'am Eloisa, pakisagot.
Oo. Future, ako, it's unlimited offer talaga yung sa podcast. Because right now, sabi ko nga kanina, a lot of the podcast directors are investing on what can complement yung nila, yung ino-offer nila, recent offers nila. And not only that, di ba tayo ngayon dito sa Pilipinas, we are trying hard sa modular type of learning. Imagine if we can complement it with a podcast. Yung kung other than bigyan mo sila ng module and then merong audio, complement na audio through a podcast. So, yung magamit siya in the near future as also a tool for learning, especially for remote learning, and not only that, for corporate. Di ba sa corporate, they have town hall meetings. Di ba? They have like trainings. So right now, there are a couple of companies who are venturing into private podcasts. So those are the future that I can see. And also, in the next 5 years, I am really thinking that Spotify will eventually offer yung katulad ng ginagawa ng YouTube ngayon, na they're going to supply salary or give salaries to their best performing podcasters. So, and then eventually they are also going to offer video podcast, and then at the height of all the ads insertions. So those are the futures na magandang.
Wow. So, I have seen I have seen an analytics, parang on the average, nakapost pa sa akin if you're going to hit 1 million subscribers on the average daw sa YouTube, you need to have at least 241 videos and 3.6 years. On the average, yung may mga 1 million subscribers sa YouTube. Sa podcast, ma'am, ano yung average sa kanila for them to have 1 million downloads? Ilang episodes yan?
Well, dito 'di ba yung sa isa kong client, we just hit the million mark during the last weekend. And for her, it has been 200 plus episodes before she hits the 200 total download. Kasi it differs eh. It really varies on the content that you offer to the listeners. And if you are hitting the right content for the right listeners. So medyo slow burn talaga. I have to admit that podcasting is really a slow burn. It's not going to give you that yung accurate number agad na you must have this kasi until now you will not be given the accurate number of subscribers to your shows, only the number of downloads and then where it comes from. So di ba batang-bata pa, so in the next 5 years I am hoping they are going to offer the data na makikita natin na how many total of subscribers that a show really has. And then medyo pa kasi erratic yung data ng mga ganyan eh. So I really cannot tell how long it would be before they hit that 1 million because it varies. For one of my clients, it took her 2 years, 200 plus episodes. And how about, but one of my clients too, it just took him 40 episodes and he is now on 10 million total downloads. So
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different genre, different listeners, and different topic of expertise. So I really cannot tell. Wala talagang accurate na pero we'll just wait, 'di ba? In the next 5 years, baka meron na 'yan. They are going to solve that problem.
Naalala mo, Sir JP, yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Sheena Yap, yung platform para mag-distribute ng podcast niya? Ano yung preferred niya?
Simple
Ikaw,
task.
Miss
task yung
Eloisa,
kanya.
ano yung masasuggest mo? Ano yung sa'yo naman?
Ako,
ano magandang gamitin namin ni Sir JP pag may pambayad na kami ng
Okay. First, if you already have a budget, I want you to look into sa Libsyn and Captivate.fm. Captivate.fm is my favorite hosting kasi doon namin hino-host ni Cecilia yung show namin, yung The Value Podcast show. So, yun yung kinuha naming hosting. Reason is, it can, parang for 1 year, I only paid parang lumalabas $17 a month. Pero I can have multiple shows. And then, they are not going to upgrade my payment unless we hit 12,000 downloads a month. So kung hindi pa naman kami nakaka 12,000 downloads ni Se, we are still going to keep that $17 na bayad every month and then unlimited shows. And also, Captivate offers private feed right now. That's what is the private podcast, which is going to be another topic on another day.
Okay.
So,
Ayan. Okay, so Sir JP, ikaw?
Wala
Are you
na
good?
akong masabi.
Information overload na?
Mag-explore na lang ako bukas. Yeah?
Okay. Okay, let's do kung sino yung mananalo na ating raffle draw. Once more, thank you Caffeine Boost Podcast for joining us, and what he uses is Anchor daw. Ayan. Thanks for sharing. Ayan, and our lucky winner for tonight is ayan, si Sir Josel and Gaston.
Yay! Congratulations, Sir Joseph. Kung andyan ka.
Ayan. Here's our terms for the winner. You have to PM me. You have to message me this evening to claim your prize. Otherwise, pag bukas na null and void na yon, and it means iniwanan mo kami. Dapat walang iwanan.
Sayang yun kasi $90 value yan, di ba? Yung LinkedIn Learning. Parang 5,000 pesos worth of free courses.
Once more, please connect with Miss Eloisa in LinkedIn, sir. Same with Sir JP and syempre sa akin din po, no? The name is Jomark Bakiran. So once more, to those who are listening or who are going to be listening to us in the near future, if you have a message or an advocacy to share, ayan, like Miss Eloisa, very passionate, ayan, about her message in about podcasting. Ayan, please be our next sharer for LinkedIn Local Meet and Philippines Live. Ayan, so kontakin nyo lang po kami. Once more, if you have a message or an advocacy to share, most especially makakatulong po sa sa ating mga kababayan. Ayan. Once more, thank you so much, Ma'am Eloisa and
Thank
Ma'am
you.
Cecilia. Ayan, hoping to have you as once more guest po ulit, no? Probably next year or we don't know kasi marami pang pwedeng i-touch, ma'am, na advanced topics in podcasting, right?
Oo, madami pa. It's a blue ocean.
Ayan, oo. Ayan, so once more, thank you so much. And yeah, see you around.
Ayan. Sabi
Okay.
ni Ma'am Sarah Jane Sagon, yan. Thank you daw, Miss Eloisa.
Ay, thank you.
Ayan.
Bye-bye na. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.